glad you could get here and everything like that. And
Thank you.
I am really looking forward to seeing these clips you have. I got a lot to learn, and I thank you for presenting that thing to ACAP the other day. It was very
Good.
interesting. We're going to get to that, and you in the audience will want to stay tuned. We're going to be informed by our guest, Barbara Rosenfeld, as to the concept of cloud computing, and we're going to have a considerable number of clips that were of information from people who understand this movement in the cyber world that apparently things are all trending toward. And our guest is Barbara Rosenfeld, one of our own here at MNN, and a market specialist, a cyber specialist in marketing, and also a expert in computer optimization.
Search engine optimization.
Search engine optimization. She understands these things very well from a long experience. Barbara, it's so good to welcome you to the program and see you again.
Well, thank you for having
You're
me
looking
here.
lovely today.
I thank you very much. You look pretty nice
You
yourself.
don't say I look lovely.
You
say
look
I
lovely
look
too.
handsome. Handsome is the word.
You look handsome.
Oh,
and
all right, thank you.
lovely
Okay.
too.
Now that that's all done, welcome, Barbara. Share a little bit of your own background, okay? And then we got 30 minutes of clips, so it's going to be a
That's
lot
right.
of
So I'm going to tell you that I'm a self-taught computer nerd.
Wonderful, autodidact.
Okay, it's called autodidact, and I've been computing since the 1980s.
Wow, that goes way back. Yeah.
Right. Actually, the first computer I ever got my hands on was a Wang.
A Wang,
And it
I remember.
had its own operating system, and it was state of the art then. That was
Yeah.
really
Things are moving exponentially, aren't they?
indeed they are,
Yeah.
and I'm glad they are.
Yeah, and you're trying to keep ahead of that, and there's a lot going. It must be hard to try and keep track of all the various things that are going on that is affecting everything.
Well, I don't know about everything that's going on,
yeah.
but I know some of what is going on, and I think that everybody needs to know what's happening with computers as far as the internet is concerned.
Right.
And I wanted to show some clips about cloud computing, and everybody's going to be wondering what cloud computing is, but you're going to need to know this because this affects you. So I'm going to show you the first clip now.
You want to do it this soon?
Let's do it right away.
Well,
so we can talk about
okay,
it.
then let's wait. I think we ought to give it a minute or two for us to get set up in the booth. But we're going to show 3 clips. Maybe you could spell out
Okay.
the 3 clips you're going to show, and then I'd like to ask a couple little things. Then we'll do it. But
Okay,
you got 3 clips. Maybe you could explain in brief what they're going to be over this hour.
The first 2 clips are going to explain cloud computing, and I
Okay.
think that's a very important thing to learn first. And then we're going to discuss Web 2.0
Okay.
and what the terminology means.
Okay.
So
No, don't do it quite yet, if you may, because we're here in public access. We're in cable, and we're producers. A lot of the people are producers or viewers of public access. And this does relate to the future of public access and cable or television, because all of these things are becoming part of a single system. And so for us to understand the computer is not esoteric off in a corner. It relates to television programming, cable access television, or cable television programming, access cable television programming, and it's all related, right?
Right.
In terms of the trend particularly.
Well, aside from it being a trend, it's not a trend per se. It's the direction in which computing is going in general.
And telecommunications is going to be on the internet.
In fact, MNN is forming its own cloud, and that's how we're going to be able to upload videos directly from our computers.
Okay.
And so you don't have to go to the tape library and bring in your tape. You can just upload it, and they will be able to show it.
I think maybe that's the point I was trying to make, is that this is not esoteric to just some geeks or something.
Right.
This is generic to all communications,
That's
particularly multimedia, but all communications, because this is the direction in which the planet is going.
Exactly.
Okay, so it'd be good for us to know where we're going. There's an old Scottish song, we don't know where we're going, but we're on our way.
I knew you were going to
We
sing.
don't know where we're going, but we're here to say, lidle, diddle, deedle, diddle, doo, die, Oh, we don't know where we're going, but we're on our way, with the help of Barbara Rosenfeld, who understands somewhat the outline of that to which we're moving, right?
Okay. Are we ready?
I think so. You don't want me to sing another song?
No, let's
George
not.
M. Cohen? No, okay.
Not
now,
unless you could tap dance.
No, I can't tap dance.
Okay.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about the first clip. And we've got 3 of them, and it's going to amount to 30 minutes in time. So
that's right. So we're going to show this, and it's going to, the first one is going to be from the Web 2.0 Expo, and these people are talking about what cloud computing is. And everybody, of course, has their own version of
now,
what
you're going to operate from here. Do you want any more explanation of who it is or anything? You're just going to let the clip stand for itself. Let's hope that it comes up.
They should speak for themselves.
She's going to click on her computer, and she's going to bring that up, and it'll fill the screen. And if you could...
Are you ready?
Yes, go ahead. Try it.
Are you ready for this?
Well, we don't see it yet on the screen.
Editor-in-Chief at CNETnews.com.
Now, you're not...
Hi, I'm Tim O'Reilly. I'm the founder and CEO of O'Reilly Media.
Okay.
Jay Cross. I do all kinds of things. You can find me at jcross.com.
We'll stop.
All right, I am Brian Solis.
You
Okay,
guys,
now you had a problem. Maybe Willie could walk out here and tell me, is there a problem? You're not able to get it up on the tape and everything, or maybe you could just
on the
walk here and tell
monitor?
us
Yeah,
where we stand
we're
while
not
we
seeing
talk.
it on the monitor.
We don't see it on the monitor, so I presume it's not being done. Is there a problem?
Is it connected?
Yes, it's
Yes,
connected.
connected.
Yeah, it's connected. Should we think about taking the whole thing from the top and get the connection straight?
Yeah.
Get Roberto?
Do you
and
have the
let's start
connection?
over
Get
again.
Roberto.
Let me give it
Yeah, I don't know why would they have to.
Was working fine.
Well, they didn't push something right in the booth or something. I don't know. That's what I like, the concept of autonomic. I mean, where everything becomes an efficiency.
Well, that's what's happening, and it's happening to the network too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're going to use this. We're going to have to take it from the top, but they're probably still recording. So this is one of the problems, and cloud computing is going to help get around some of the problems you run into with all the autonomic. Are you familiar? Have you gone to the thing at IBM ever?
All right.
No.
Keep on playing it. Let me just check it.
Should we just keep recording then? We've been talking and just run it again. Okay, let's just keep recording if everything's going, and we'll just incorporate what we just said. And that's probably a good introduction. I mean, we're doing that. We're 8 minutes into the program, and we had a problem with the connection. And I just mentioned to you that something that while they get it set up so that we're sure that the clips will work, there is a site, and I think it's still up at IBM Research, and it's a manifesto that was put out probably 6-7 years ago or something, and it's called, if you go to ibm.com/research, you'll find it there. It's a manifesto by all the cyber wizards, Minsky, all the people that are understanding cyber, and it's called Autonomic Computing. Are we okay now, Willie? No, okay.
All right.
Okay, so that's there.
You want me to play it so you could see it?
Yeah, okay, so they're going to try it now to play that first clip, and we can come back and talk about autonomic computing later, but this is relevant to what she's doing. So she's just setting it up, and let's hope the connection
There
works
we
now.
go.
Here we go. Okay.
Are you ready for this? I'm Dan Farber, Editor-in-Chief at CNETnews.com.
Hi, I'm Tim O'Reilly. I'm the founder and CEO of O'Reilly Media.
Jay Cross. I do all kinds of things. You can find me at jcross.com.
All right, I am Brian Solis with FutureWorks, PR2O, and Bubblicious. So I'm a developer advocate at Google on Open Social.
Hi, so I'm Steve Gilmore. I'm ringleader of the Gilmore Gang.
Jeremy Tanner out of Boulder, Colorado, a consultant and party crasher.
Hello, my name is Matt Mulliwick. I'm co-founder of WordPress and founder of Automatic.
The question is, what is cloud computing? I don't care what's up there, just so long as it works. So I've got a way to plug into this amazing set of connections and computing and other things. And if there are a zillion connections between me and somebody else on the other end, I'm still happy because I don't have to mess with this stuff in the middle.
Computing. Pretty exciting stuff. It's pretty much the only thing that's really going on now, right?
So you asked me what I think cloud computing is. The idea of cloud computing comes from the early days of the internet, where we drew the network as a cloud. So we didn't care where the messages went. They go in one side and come out the other, and the cloud hid it from us. So that meant we didn't need to think about routing, didn't need to think about networks. So we had a cloud around packets. The next evolution was we had the World Wide Web, which gave us a cloud around documents. You could put a URL in, you could get a document back from anywhere in the world, you didn't have to know where it was, and the servers equally could be anywhere. And that was again very freeing. It meant you could develop stuff without caring where stuff was. Part of the goal of Open Social and the other social initiatives we're doing at Google is to create a social cloud, a cloud around social interaction, so that you can have the same abstraction as a programmer, that you can ask the environment, you can ask the cloud, who are the user's friends, what's the user's profile, what are their activities, and get that back, and not have to worry about where that's stored or who's owning it. So in each of these cases, when you have these abstractions, when you have a cloud, you start out drawing, my generation draws the network as a cloud. For the younger generation, they don't see the cloud. It's like air for them. There's nothing there at all. So what we expect to see as we put a cloud around social computing, that it will become invisible, it will permeate everywhere on the web, and it won't be a special place you have to go to. It will just be part of the web.
To me, cloud computing is simply the notion that right now you can use the internet, you can use the cloud to store a lot of data and applications and other things, and I think increasingly things will be moving to the cloud. But we have three platforms. We have the desktop, we have mobile devices, and the cloud. All of them are somehow part of the scenarios that people use every day, but as I said, increasingly things will start leaning toward the cloud, where when there's enough bandwidth, reliability, security, and all those other issues people talk about, there won't be a notion of being a cloud. It'll simply be, just as people have said, or as Nick Carr has said in the big switch, it's just like serving up electricity. We'll be serving up data, applications, and even writing those applications directly to the cloud.
Everything I know about cloud computing I learned from James Governor of RedMonk. He wrote a really awesome post about it and described it, and he basically said if you need software, it's not cloud computing. If you need hardware beyond your laptop, it's not cloud computing. So basically all of the activity you want to do should take place on a remote server elsewhere, and all you should need is an internet connection. That's what I think cloud computing is. I hope I didn't bastardize it.
Hi, I'm Tom McGovern, CEO of Snap.com. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is being able to sleep at night knowing that your servers won't go down, being able to know that your operations person can actually go on vacation. Cloud computing is a lot more sense of being able to have a balance between your work life and professional life for your team.
Bode very well for startups being able to implement ideas at a very early stage without really having to concern themselves with scaling up.
And cloud computing is a bit like liquid paper, I guess, which is that, liquid paper kind of covers up mistakes. And I think a lot of the pain that comes associated with installing software or connecting with other people because they have to have what you have, when all you really want to do is connect and get work done, I think that's kind of the way I think of cloud computing, right? So it really solves that problem, and it kind of paints over some of what people really are already expecting, which is, hey, I just want to get this app running, I want to find other people, I want to get work done, I want to socialize, and I don't want to have to install a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to have to make sure everybody has the same version running or anything else. So that's the way I think of cloud computing.
Computing really is. It's me on an airplane with a notebook, 30,000 feet, working in the cloud.
Yeah, in an airplane. That's cloud computing.
I've looked at clouds from both sides now.
Hi, I'm Tim O'Reilly. I'm the founder and CEO of O'Reilly Media, and probably the person most associated with the term Web 2.0. We're here at the Web 2.0 Expo, and you guys want to know what cloud computing is. I think it's one of the foundations of the next generation of computing, which I've been calling Web 2.0. One of the big things that we're moving towards is this world in which the network, conceived in the way we originally talked about the internet, as the network of networks, really is the platform for all computing. As I said in my keynote yesterday, I really been focused on this idea for many years. In 2001, we had Clay Shirky talking at our P2P and Web Services conference, and I thought he had a great description of cloud computing back then. He said, Thomas Watson once famously said that he saw no need for more than 5 computers in the world. We now know that he was wrong. And everybody, of course, cracks up because they think of the hundreds of millions of PCs, and then Clay hit them with the punchline. He overstated the number by 4, right? So effectively, everything that we think of as a computer today is really just a device that connects to the big computer that we're all collectively building. And so cloud computing is really the movement of computing into this network of all connected devices, this network of networks, and that's every layer of computing. This is a basic functionality like virtualization, but it's also new data layers. For example, a lot of what I've talked about in Web 2.0 is how we're starting to build data subsystems, and the subsystems of the so-called Internet operating system won't just be access to devices, but they may be accesses to classes of data, location, identity. And we need to start thinking about these things as system services. And cloud computing is a great way to think about how we're going to be delivering computing services in the future.
In fact, I actually wrote a post this week where I sort of bemoaned the fact that the operating systems that we all use on our PCs are really based in the pre-cloud era. They're based on the understanding that your PC isn't connected all the time to the web, and as a result, the way that we deal with things on the web and things we deal with, the way we deal with things locally to our computers are sort of extremely different. And I actually propose that it's time for a new operating system.
Cloud computing to me means scaling on demand.
Cloud computing? You're trying to trick me. That's one of those catch questions.
I don't know. City in the Sky, perhaps? Is there a Harlan Ellison novel by that name of some sort? I forget.
So you've got applications running on the desktop, very thin, very light. All the hard work takes place somewhere else. Advantages, well, obviously you can just run, you can just go.
And to us, cloud computing is more about the ability to sort of for developers not to worry about things, which is the idea actually behind the name Automatic, was to remove all friction from developers and help abstract out like business concerns and scaling concerns and everything like that. But on the computational side, we're still not there, right? We still have to think about how tables are structured, how we're querying things, and how we're going to scale out webs, and how much network and space and electricity we have, and all this crap. And ideally, it should just be like Care Bears in the cloud, perfect, happy. So someday, I hope we'll be.
Cloud computing is, you've got Cloud A, and then you've got Cloud B, and there's storms and rain and all of these sorts of things, and then lightning goes between the clouds, between them. And in that bolt of lightning, you can get 1 teraflops of information. That is cloud computing.
Cloud computing, I think it's a way to deliver services rather than applications. Completely independent of platforms, completely independent of physical hardware, and I hope it works.
So what's cloud computing? Is it scale on demand? Is it not having to worry about your servers being up? Maybe it's being able to run with your big idea. I think the more important question isn't so much what is cloud computing, but instead, now that it's here, what are you going to build?
Okay.
And don't forget,
we're back on camera. That's really interesting. A lot of information.
We had 2 more videos to look at.
But I think there's a couple of things we could talk about in the intervening.
Well, actually, I would rather show these first, and then we can have some discussion about it, because there's continuity here.
Okay, sure. By all means, then set up, as they say, to the audience, what this next clip we're going to see right on the back of that other one.
Well, actually, it's someone who might have been someone who you might have looked like when you were like 30, 40 years younger.
Right.
But
handsome.
Well, yes.
No, you could say instead of but, you could say and.
And. Okay.
Okay, I'm just teaching you the diplomatic language when you get into the foreign service or something. Yeah.
Okay, we're ready for the next video.
Okay.
And
this is somebody who is 30 years old or something?
No.
And it doesn't seem to be a
There we go.
There we go. Now we're ready to go, and I guess it speaks for itself, or it will. This is the second video.
to another video from explainingcomputers.com. This time I'm going to talk about cloud computing. This is where data, software applications or computer processing power are accessed from a cloud of online resources. This permits individual users to access their data and applications from any device, as well as allowing organizations to reduce their capital costs by purchasing software and hardware as a utility service. Cloud computing is closely associated with Web 2.0. In particular, a key element of both trends is the emergence of online applications known as software as a service, or SaaS. Commercial software as a service includes Clarisen's online project management tools, as well as customer relationship management and human resource applications offered by Salesforce, Employees, and Zoho. A number of online office applications are now also available and include Google Docs, List, and SlideRocket. These allow anybody to create or upload documents into their online cloud and then to work on them using any kind of computing device with an internet connection. In addition to software as a service, cloud computing also includes the development of hardware as a service, or HSAS. This is where computer processing capacity is purchased over the web. Amazon, for example, now offer a web service called Elastic Compute Cloud, or EC2. This allows users to purchase computer processing power online and on the basis of the processor cores, storage, and data transfer they require in each instance. Google has also launched a similar service called App Engine, and which permits developers to run web applications on Google's infrastructure. Hardware as a service can offer many advantages. Amazon, for example, highlights how EC2 is elastic because it allows users to increase or decrease their hardware requirements within minutes. Flexible, because users can choose the specification of each individual instance of computing power purchased. Inexpensive, as no dedicated capital investment is required. And reliable, as EC2 makes use of Amazon's proven data centers and network infrastructure. The trend for cloud computing has been compared to the development of the electricity network a century ago. At that time, companies stopped having to produce their own power and instead plugged in to a national electricity grid. In the same way, individuals and organizations can now connect to a cloud of computing resources to fuel their information activities, rather than having to install software to run on their own hardware. It is therefore perhaps hardly surprising that cloud computing is also being referred to as utility computing. Linked to this trend, some new low-power, low-cost devices, such as the Asus EPC and the Everex Cloudbook, are also starting to be referred to as computing appliances. This is because they're intended to be used out of the box to access the emerging cloud of utility computing services, with no user software installation being required. Cloud computing may signal a return to an age of centralization, with data, applications, and processing power largely remote from a user interface device. However, there are also significant differences from the previous mainframe era. For a start, cloud computing is leveling the playing field by bringing the potential benefits of centralized resources to all sizes of business. Any company, and indeed anybody, can now connect to software or hardware as an online utility. This means that fewer companies now have to invest in a large-scale computing infrastructure. In addition, over the next few years, fewer individual users will be tied to a particular device when they want to access their data and applications. In tandem with Web 2.0, cloud computing has...
Wow.
Seems to have
So much for that.
Is it going?
IBM and others have already embraced the cloud computing revolution.
You want to try and run it
However,
from here?
It's fine.
Companies like Microsoft
Okay, run it back on the thing, Willie.
If they want to continue to sell us software to run
Willie,
on
bring it
local
back.
hardware.
Bring them back.
For more information on this topic,
That's all right.
you might want to look at my video on explaining Web 2.0. But that's it for this time, and I hope to talk to you again very soon.
Okay, so the last video.
You're going to run. You want to do the last video too?
Yes,
also?
because
There's a million questions coming up,
I know,
obviously. But okay.
I know. The last one should answer a lot of your questions.
Okay, do you want to set it up or say anything to the audience or just run it? So let's get ready
We're just going to run it, and then we're going to talk about all of this, because most of you are already using cloud computing, whether you know it or not.
Okay.
And this next video is about Web 2.0.
And that's connected to the whole theme.
That certainly is.
Okay, let's run that.
So we're going to run this one now, too.
Okay.
Are you ready, guys?
Well, you just do it. There it is.
Welcome to another video from explainingcomputers.com. This time, I'm going to talk about internet developments known as Web 2.0. Defining exactly what is meant by Web 2 is about as difficult as nailing a jelly to a wall.
Try that.
That said, most people agree that Web 2 involves making new and improved forms of online connection between two or more people, between two or more online services, or between individual users and software applications. Identifying these three types of connection also enables us to isolate the three key aspects of Web 2 as being interpersonal computing, web services, and software as a service. Interpersonal computing is about using online technology to connect people to each other in social networks or business teams. The key interpersonal computing aspects of Web 2 are therefore things like social networking sites, wikis, blogs, and online video. Examples of these include Facebook and MySpace for social networking, Wikipedia, blog creation sites like Blogger, and video hosts including Kaltura and YouTube. All of these sites allow anybody to add as well as to access content, to leave messages and comments, and to exchange digital media, including photographs and video. Web services are components of online functionality that can be plugged together like a kind of digital Lego in order to create an integrated online offering or mashup. For example, many companies use the web service of a payment service provider, such as WorldPay or PayPal, in order to allow them to easily take credit card payments online. This results in customers interacting with two organizations that are automatically interlinked via the internet. As another common example, web services are also frequently mashed together to integrate a map and related data from one website into another. For example, the property website Rightmove integrates local information from About My Place, which in turn obtains its maps from Microsoft Virtual Earth. And as a third simple illustration, anybody can cut and paste a YouTube video embed link to create a web page which is drawing content from two sources, and with YouTube here providing the web service of video hosting. The final key aspect of Web 2 is software as a service, or SaaS. This involves application functionality being offered directly over the internet. In turn, user data and applications can then be accessed from any internet-enabled computing device. For some years, human resources and project management applications have been successfully offered over the internet by companies including Employees and Clarism. However, online replacements for personal desktop applications are now also available. For example, Google Docs is an online word processing, spreadsheet and presentation package available for free over the web. As an alternative, Zoho also offers a Microsoft Office compatible set of online applications, together with tools for project management and other business functions. As yet another example, Juice has launched a free online desktop that also enables people to access their files from anywhere and to share them with others. Many people are still dismissing Web 2 as the latest marketing hype. However, this is probably only because they are unaware of the online service and application delivery aspects, and are hence mistaking the concept as being about no more than teenage social networking. However, in terms of both business and computing, over the next few years, Web 2 is likely to change the ways in which many companies will link together, as well as the means by which many of us will access our data and software applications. Not least, the purchase and installation of expensive standalone software is likely to reduce substantially, and in turn this will impact on existing key industry players like Microsoft. As Google and other Web 2 pioneers have shown, a new business model is becoming possible. This involves providing basic applications and services for free, and then charging a small minority of users for service support, customization, or association. One challenge ahead is to see how robust and more broadly applicable this Web 2 business model may be. As Web 2 takes hold, many companies will need to alter their online strategy. The old Web 1 business model was based around building a great website and just hoping that people would pay a visit. However, in the Web 2 age, it is known where most people go when they first log on, and this is to Web 2 sites such as MySpace, Facebook, or YouTube. Inhabiting these magnet cyber locations where customers are known to be, rather than just expecting people to pay a company's own website a visit, therefore has to become a key online strategy. Hopefully, this video has given you an improved understanding of Web 2 and its implications. For more information, please see the Web 2 pages of explainingcomputers.com. So that's it for another video, and I hope to talk to you again very soon.
I hope not.
Okay.
So,
okay, well, that's all interesting. A lot of stuff, a million questions are in my mind.
Good, I have
the
answers.
And a lot of others. That's good that you've got the answers because there's a whole lot contained in that.
Okay.
And thank you for all of that. It's really educational. I don't know quite where to begin. It's interesting they say Web 2 is something that's just developing. I don't understand the difference between Web 1 and Web 2. I don't know if you, or maybe you would want to talk to it rather than be asking a specific question.
Okay.
I have a lot of little questions I would ask, but maybe you could explain a little more.
Web 2.0 is more of an interactive version of the internet, whereas one ordinarily in the beginning, people just put up web pages and people browsed what was on the web pages. But now...
it's not like there's separate wires or it's a separate system. It's still over the same system. You still have your connection to the internet, and then there's things that are being done, but it's not like they're running a competition between the telegraph and the telephone or something.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
It's more interactive.
Okay.
So you're already on Web 2.0. I mean,
Right.
You're uploading videos to YouTube. By the way, I downloaded all of those videos from YouTube.
Right.
And I stored them on my computer. I did that last night because I wasn't sure about the internet connection here.
Yeah.
But
Like we had a little trouble going at the beginning.
That's all right.
And it's
we
because
got
we're
it.
coming. That's one of the things they talked about a utility, where the young man said it's like a utility, like electricity.
Like the electric company,
and I was thinking,
right?
that was really interesting. You get electricity, you get a grid, and it's coming in, and electricity, a utility, that's interesting. And then and I understand that. James Thurber had a character in one of his, was The Night the Bed Fell or something, where his aunt was all concerned about the electricity, and she used to put a book over it because it was going to leak out. You know, so there was this with electricity. But when you go and you plug in a refrigerator, and then you just plug it in and push go, it goes. Or you push in a light, it goes. If you push in a... But when you start doing things with information like that, there's a lot of things you have to do. It's not just so simple as utility like electricity, because there's still all the programming and all the decisions and everything. It's just put in a different place.
You're not the one who has to do it. Those people who are setting up these Web 2.0 platforms are the ones who are designing all of this, and they're putting it all together.
So like Facebook,
MySpace,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is a professional networking site. It's a wonderful site too, because the search engines just love that site.
And so they've set up a template, but you still have to know how to work the template.
Well, yeah, but
it's not like just plugging in a refrigerator or a light bulb to the electricity.
Not necessarily.
You have to set up your Facebook account and everything. You don't necessarily have to have it on your...
Options.
Yeah, they give you a template. And so it's about templates that are there.
Right. It's interactive. It's interactive. So in other words, you can choose
Well, it was
what you
interactive
want.
with the early computer. They had interactive. Email is interactive inherently and everything.
I know, but you didn't have choices then. If you wanted to set up your MySpace page, you didn't have all these different options here. Now you could set the background, make it look like whatever you want it to look like. You could add different apps to it.
Apps, that's a short for
applications.
So a lot of people don't know what the hell an application is. They don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not like plugging in a refrigerator. No. It's not that simple. Or a light bulb.
Talk about refrigerators, by the way.
They're using the utility model. What else is utility? There's certain utilities.
Do you know that refrigerators nowadays come with an interactive device that it will tell you what items in the refrigerator you're low on, and will automatically order them from the store for you?
Okay, but you don't have to program it.
Well, it's programmed, yes.
Well, okay, it's programmed. That's back again. We started these clips. There is a thing, I would recommend people going to it and everything, is at IBM. They're major, Mr. Watson and so forth, and they have a thing, ibm.com/research, and there is a manifesto about computing. And they know a lot about computing at IBM, and they had people from the cyber world. Like I said, Marvin Minsky and all the people that really understand where the hell cyber is going and everything, because it's such a big thing. And they call it, there's an absolute necessity for us to go toward what they call autonomic computing. Now, autonomic nervous system in a biological entity.
I understand what that is.
You don't have to consciously tell each hair to grow.
Well, there are lots of things that are autonomic.
So they're going to have to be autonomic
on the computer system.
Yes, where it's going to be, if you have a template and you do it, it just does it. You don't have to, it's like they've got all these different things where if you jump up and down and scratch your head and hit the right start button or do something on the computer, then you can get 6,673 hues of blue rather than only 6,300,000. You've got a million decisions you have to make and program in, and that's all programming, and it confounds a lot of people, whereas they're going to have autonomic systems that will do that increasingly, make it user-friendly. In the manifesto, they're going to have to do that, or the whole world is going to be nothing but IT, computing experts that come and get people so they can figure out how to make the damn thing work.
Right. Well, it's becoming a lot more user-friendly now.
Okay, you think so?
What do you think your audience would like to know about Web 2.0?
I don't know. Why don't we let you talk rather than me? I'm just rambling on in a more comprehensive pattern and everything.
Okay.
But I think that's a big problem. And how can we see it as a utility?
It's a utility for those people who rely on those services on a regular basis. Now, this thing with cloud computing is when you have cloud computing, you don't have to stuff your computer with all these different pieces of software. All the software is online. That's the point of it all. For
but you
instance,
still have to know how to program the software.
No. You don't have to program the software.
Yeah.
Software is already programmed.
Okay, so a software is like a template?
You mean to use it, to use the software? Yes, of course.
So you don't have to become an IT cyber expert to do something.
Exactly.
Okay. That's
now
good
let me explain to you.
Yeah.
For instance, Google has its own applications that are open source, which are similar versions to Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint. It's all on Google Docs. So,
Google Docs is an important thing?
That's a very important site. So if you don't have a word processing program on your computer, you go to Google Docs and use the word processing program there. It's open source, which it means that it could be amended and changed as needed.
Like Wiki? Is Wikipedia?
No, Wikipedia is another...
editing, yeah.
Wikipedia is a different kind of platform,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about software
Okay.
that's usable online. For instance, did you know that you could even edit videos on the internet?
Well, you told me that on the phone the other day, and I don't know anything about it. But are
There
you going to
are-
show something else you want to come up
Well,
on
I
the
mean,
screen?
there are video editing sites.
Have you got it set up so you can bring this on the television screen?
Yes, let's
Okay.
just
Okay.
give a little demo here.
There's a demo of how you can edit on the video
Yes,
online.
let's bring up the computer screen.
Bring up the computer screen if you can, Willie, please. There it is. There
All
it is.
right, because I'm going to show you.
Yes, show this bird. This is fun.
Oh, you like my bird?
I love it. I think I laughed for 20 minutes.
You really want to see that?
Yes. Or is that why not?
Okay.
Or no, is that going to illustrate what you're saying?
No, it's not going to
well,
illustrate
maybe you
what
shouldn't
I'm
do
saying.
that then. Illustrate what you're going to show.
Okay.
She did a thing where she put that bird dancing to something, what do you call it? Hasidic.
Let's
music, and it was really
Oh,
funny.
let's
The bird
play
was
it.
right in.
Let's
there, look
play
at him
it.
go.
Let's
Look at him
play
go.
it. All right, we're not going to continue with
that
that.
goes on, and it's really funny, and you did that on your own. But
all right,
give
but
us
I'm
the
gonna
thing. You're
show
going to
you-
give us, and particularly
Actually,
people
I'm
are
gonna show you.
video oriented here. There's a thing that they could learn that
Right,
would be, really be useful.
there are listed here 5 free online video editing sites.
What's the site for this?
And they're reviewed. It's extremetech.com, and there are articles here on video editing.
Could
and
you Google video editing?
Right.
In Google and get to the sites to do this?
You Google online video editing.
Online video editing.
All right, and it comes up with a number of sites, one of which is Cuts, the other one is iSpot, and the other one is Jump Cut, the other one is MotionBox, and the other one is One True Media, and I'm sure there are many others. In fact, more and more online applications are cropping up all over the place.
Okay.
Then I'm going to show you something else that you'll find very useful.
So you could take a video clip and
Harold.
edit it, audio and video on...
you could do that on the internet.
Okay, without going to
now
Final
I'm going
Cut
to show
Pro
you,
or something. You don't have to-
Harold, I'm
okay.
going to show you something.
Mhm.
It is for those people who create videos on the internet, and you don't have a teleprompter, but you can create your own script here. So let's type something in.
She's typing something into the computer.
Let's type it again.
Why?
Because
okay, never mind, do it.
we want it to
Just
scroll.
Do it. You want to make the thing. You don't need to have me with my obiter dictum, my irrelevant.
Okay, so this is an application. Now we'll start the teleprompter. You see, this is an online teleprompter, and it goes forward, and it keeps playing. The reason I typed it a second time because I wanted you to see it to scroll down.
I see. You're a good typist. You got all the spelling right and everything. You didn't do spell check. You're a good typist. Are you a fast typist? Did you learn how to type when you were young? Did you know how to touch type and everything?
On a good day, I typed 80 words a minute.
That's pretty good, I think. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's a new thing.
All right, so that's another online application. There There are many online applications, but the most important thing that you really want to know are all these job listing websites where you could post your resume online.
Well, that's like LinkedIn has that, doesn't it?
Yes, but there are forjobs.com, America Preferred, America's Job Source, Backhouse,
Monster,
Beyond.
didn't there be a thing, Monster?
Look at all of it. Yes, Monster, National Job Bank, all of these places that you could post your resume online.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very important thing, and these are all Web 2.0 platforms.
Those are Web 2.0. How do we know if something's a Web 0.2 or just part? It's all blended in with the other, right?
Basically, I could tell you that if something is interactive, more than likely Web 2.0.
Okay, help me
out.
And
Web 2.0 is a terminology.
Okay.
And really means interactive.
Okay, and it's at a certain stage. Now, when they had the computer first coming on, I mean, it goes back not that long, actually. I mean, but you had, from the get-go, you had email. Email is inherently interactive. There's no way that you cannot have email that is interactive. So you had interactivity as part of the cyber development, intrinsic. So what is it that makes that different, the 2.0? Is it just an advancement of more bandwidth? Is it an advancement of what's coming out of the computer labs? Is it an advancement that's going to accelerate? Are we going to get to computer 3.0, 5.0, 10.0?
We've already gotten to 3.0.
Is it a qualitative change between 1.0 and 2.0? Is it qualitative, not just quantitative? New things that are being added to a backbone that was established and it's all part of one system, or how do we see it?
Well, I mean, you could actually relate Web 1.0 with Web 2.0, but Web 1.0 is really static. Let's put it that way.
Well, it was interactive, though. Email was interactive.
Well, yes,
so
but it wasn't
you made
always.
The distinction being interactive. It's always been interactive. It has to be.
Well,
There's
it
no
is.
way.
Well, it is interactive,
okay,
but it
so then
wasn't
you
always
use
instant.
That term.
I know you're asking me a question, but I'd like to answer
Okay.
it. Email itself is interactive in that you have a recipient, but it was not always instant. We used to do relay mail back in the old days.
Packet switching.
Well, yes, it was packet switching. And so we did that in the old days. And it wasn't instant. Sometimes you had to wait a day or two before you got the response.
That was faster than snail
I
mail.
know, but now what you call interactive means, within nanoseconds.
Right, and that's in advance of all the communication satellites and the whole
Right,
infrastructure.
but email was not always interactive.
Okay, but what is it that is it just?
It's the fact that we have everything with bandwidth now makes things more instantaneous.
Yeah, and we haven't even gotten to carbon 60 yet.
Oh well,
that's
I
only
can't wait
a
for
couple
that.
years out, and that's
Well,
going to
we'll
go
see.
faster than this silicon chip. It's going to be past Moore's law. It's going to be galloping with what they can do.
I hope
and
it
it's going to
does.
affect everything. And it's going the rate of the growth of the expansion of the capability is going to accelerate as we look ahead. So
Right.
we're in a time of where do we reach a point of qualitative transformation as it affects the social, political, economic organization of our society and our institutions?
You know what? I couldn't even speculate.
Okay. Okay, I just
I
wondered,
could.
that
I
would
couldn't
be a
even.
major-
I couldn't even speculate.
Marshall McLuhan used to say the medium is the
We
message.
have so many variables going on right now.
Right, yeah.
So I couldn't even speculate.
Okay, I do, and I try to think about that because it's going to affect everything. We're in cable television now. Cable television is going to be subsumed. Network television, telegraph, telephone, everything's being subsumed within this thing that's developing. So it has major implications in terms of all our institutions, the assumptions behind all our institutions, the assumptions even it would get to be even intellectual concern or notions about human nature or the nature of conundrums that were confronting the human condition. It's a qualitative transformation that's coming off this information extension of our consciousness, is it not?
That's fine, but I'm a cyber marketer.
You're a cyber marketer. Okay. So the point 2 is really important for people who are
let
trying
me
to do
explain
search
to you why
engine
it's
optimization also.
Let me explain to you why, because the Web 2.0 sites, because of their millions of users, have a lot of popularity with the search engines.
Okay.
And so it's very important that if somebody wants to be noticed on the internet, that you get involved with all of these Web 2.0 sites, because the search engines recognize these sites and they see you online. And if you put a link to your website on any of these Web 2.0 sites, then
through a keyword or something?
Through using keywords.
Yeah,
but
that's important, yeah.
But your URL that is all over the internet gets pointed to your website.
Okay.
All right, and you get traffic that way.
It works the other way around too. If somebody wants to find something, I think Sergey Brin and so forth, they got all their hands filled in doing everything like that with the YouTube and other things. And but they said in one posting somewhere that they want to put a great deal. I know they're going to put great deal of attention to be able to have cyber translation of the languages of the world in a way that is effective. That would be a huge development. But they're also wanting to put a great deal of attention currently. He's got a place in New York City now, finally, Sergey Brin. But they're going to put attention to optimizing search, because search is an art. How do you do a search and find? And just as somebody wants people to know about their website, a person wants to find information that's relevant to what they're doing, and optimizing the search process so that you can use a declarative sentence or something and find an answer to what you ask, rather than it being very, very unoptimally being offered what they're able to find something when somebody wants to find it, don't you think?
Well,
and you're an optimizer of search engine technology. Where are we going in that way? So that the searching will be done in a very effective, much more qualitatively more effective way, the search process of what's out there in cyberspace.
There are different algorithms being added to search properties, and so as we speak, these are changing all the time.
Yeah.
This is very dynamic.
Yeah.
But what the search engines are interested in doing is providing the people who are using their search engines with the respective response. But they also are catering to their advertisers.
Yeah.
So they're going to give their advertisers higher priority. And they're all related to the keywords that are put in there, like find a doctor in New York City. That's what you want to put in your search engine.
Why can't you say Dr. New York City?
You can.
Okay, why do we have to put in all these words like we do a sentence? Like I say, how much difference is there between an average female Homo sapien and an average male Homo sapien in terms of genome understanding? Now, you write that in and you get an answer with the best research that would mark that. Or you know what I'm saying? You can ask a declarative sentence and it will go into a search and you'll get an answer rather than a million different things that are all over with keywords and everything.
Well, when
are they going to get it to where they'll be at that level where they'll be able to answer specifically?
They're very near.
Are they getting nearer?
They're getting nearer and nearer.
Okay, and you're learning how to do that. It's an art.
Well,
to know how to frame a.
My job is to provide the relevance that the search engines are looking for. So, so if I'm trying to market something, I have to use the keywords that the search engines are going to use.
Market or find something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. There's an art to that.
Of course,
if there are people who know how to frame a search, or the words to use, or words not to use, you get extraneous words that are in there when you're doing it in English or in a language with extra
you can actually
nouns
find
and adjectives and things.
You can actually find what are the popular searches on the internet.
Okay, how many of our search engines are there? I mean, there's Google, and then there's
there are hundreds, thousands even.
There are. Which are the best?
There are some.
In your experience?
I'm not supposed to say which are the best.
Why?
Which are the most popular?
Why aren't you supposed to?
Because that's.
No, in your experience, I meant. Just
I'm telling you,
don't want to do it.
No, I can't tell you which are the best. I'm telling you which are the dominant ones.
Okay, which are the dominant? Google.
Of course, Google.
Google is like a gigantic gorilla in the middle of the room. Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're very good.
There's Yahoo. There's MSN.
Yeah, we used to have Internet Explorer.
There's Alta Vista. There's Alexa also has a search engine. There are so many of them.
Is there competition between them?
Well, of course.
Is there adequate competition to where the search process is more efficient, or is it a matter of learning how to word a search so that you become efficient to find what you want?
Well, no, there's no competition as far as that's concerned.
Well, then I think Sergey Brin's interested in getting that to where they'll dominate in that.
Exactly.
When they get to that, and you can find what you want among the welter of things, because we're going to have 6 billion people, and they're going to be on the cell phone, and there's going to be just a huge cyberspace we're all living in. They better get some pattern recognition that makes it possible for us to autonomically find what we want and so forth.
Well, autonomically, eventually they'll have your
Speech
brain
recognition.
hardwired.
They're going to instantiate.
You'll have your
in the
brain hardwired, and you won't even have to worry about all that. We'll all be connected.
Yeah, we are becoming connected. Are you positive? Are you positively inclined toward the prospect for the human prospect?
Well, I mean,
Do you think we're on an age of? I mean, I think of it in terms of we're in an age of qualitative transformation in the evolution of consciousness.
I think we're at the point of breakdown or breakthrough.
Right. Well, that's sort of in a sense qualitative. It's not just a growing upon 200,000 years. We're coming to a time of a qualitative transformation, and I'm not at all sure we have the leadership qualities or understanding of how to do it for everybody and the ecology and everything that's going to avoid us blowing up the whole damn thing.
Well, you know, whatever happens, happens. But, you know, you just got to do the best you can for
I guess
today.
you could just use a thing of stuff happens.
That's
but I mean,
well,
the point is, we live in a qualitative. And this computing thing and the extension of consciousness is a huge part of what's setting the human agenda. As for the human agenda, so it is for all the creatures. It's an incredibly exciting time to be interested in these things and conversant. Don't you think it's an exciting time?
Today
is the most
future.
exciting time in the history of the evolution of consciousness.
Today is the future.
Today is the future, you think?
That's right.
Well, I wish we had better templates to get us to that future than we seem to be getting from our leadership. I don't think that when you have a thing, because everything is going to be subsumed within this new model, you need something relevant to the future, and we're all reifying outdated institutions that we've inherited out of history. It's like speciation or something. And we don't have the window to that because we're all caught up with thinking that's out of date. I mean, that's what happens when you have something new come. A new species comes and it subsumes, but we don't. I don't think we have I don't think they know what they're doing.
Who?
The world leadership, or
do we have world leadership?
Well, we have like institutions, President of the United States, and the Congress, and the things, and the United Nations, and the states, and the nation state, and economic theory, and all this kind of stuff. And we have atomic and hydrogen and weaponry, and germs now that can be manufactured that can wipe out the whole species. And we don't have justice. We have never had justice. Women didn't have the vote until 1920. I mean, we're all caught up with outdated institutions. We don't have a view of the future. And where the hell is the view coming from? Maybe from 2.0 or from the intellectuals are not providing an alternative template to get us to the future that the future requires.
Well,
2.0 might be a direction in that.
We have to rely on what we have.
We have to rely on what we have and also what we can project for the future. We have to
right.
be thinking in terms of the
we
future.
need people who plan things, just like people who are planning these wonderful cities of the future, like your friend Christopher Zeloff. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, well, this is just a taste. This is really important stuff because this is really available to us now. Barbara Rosenfeld, everyone, she's one of our own here. We're just so proud to have you here as part of the MNN
Thank
team.
you.
We got to be thinking about making sure public access stays on the air.
Yes,
and
we
all
do.
these institutions, the people, the democracy. There's a lot of change.